Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
810-454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. First episode of the Ahsoka show. I mean, is that what they call it?
Yeah, the Ahsoka show.
Welcome everyone to the Ahsoka show. So, for a first episode of a new series, it's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
I like the two bad guys. I think they're cool looking. I like their apprentice master relationship because he's like the older guy and he's like, it's cool. I like him. Cool. He looks like a cool badass Santa Claus. He's cool.
Yeah, the other one, Padawan, looks a little crazy, but I kind of like it because they're not technically Jedi. But also they do follow some of the stuff because she has the...
Yeah, she has a braid, the Padawan braid. They're also not Sith either.
No, they're not
what's their
evil,
deal?
evil.
Maybe they're just doing what they can do to survive.
Maybe, yeah, because I think he even said in one of the scenes, like, he paid us well, so they're being paid.
Hunters?
Yeah.
Bounty hunter. But, some weird stuff, like, I watched all of Rebels. I don't remember Ahsoka teaching Sabine anything.
No,
I don't even think they've ever had a conversation.
I'm actually trying to remember back in my mind. I don't think they ever
the very end of the series when she's like, we have to go find Ezra.
Yeah, that's it.
Except for, they kind of do that, but... They because I remember when Ahsoka showed up, she was like wearing all these white robes. She looked like Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
But then this version, Sabine still has long hair, and Ahsoka's more like, oh, you gotta, like, it's weird. Like, they just rewrote that history.
It almost feels like either that happened, and then it failed, and she went back to Lothal.
Yeah.
That's what it almost feels like, because...
And this is the second time they met.
Yes. Not the first time, because it's kind of weird.
Her hair grew back, and then she cuts it again.
I guess.
I don't know. But we open up and we see, standard Star Wars storyline where they put the important information in big letters. But so we see a ship and they're getting hailed like, oh, it's an old Jedi code. And he's like, oh, this guy's like, that's bull crap. Ain't no Jedis. They get down and we see it's the bad guys. But he's like, you guys aren't no Jedis. And then they pull out their lightsabers. They kill everybody. But they have force powers.
Yes.
So they're not just like Inquisitors.
Yes, and also they are strong enough in the Force to be, like, actually doing things.
Yeah, like, he's picking people up, and he's slamming them around. And he's like, you worried about one thing, we're not Jedi. So they go around killing everybody, and they're trying to free a prisoner. Some Morgan Le Fay, some Morgan chick. And it's like, it would have been kind of fun if she would have been like, oh, you're here to save me. Actually, we're here to make sure you stay quiet, and they kill her. That would have been kind of fun. Mm-hmm. But we get to Ahsoka, and this is an hour long. This episode could have been 25 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, kind of, like, again, granted, kind of cool shots, but a lot of them just staring.
Ahsoka solves a puzzle and finds a map and fights some bad guys. What I just said encompasses, like, 25 minutes.
Yes.
Because she's walking around the tomb, turning little things, looking at, and it just takes...
hearing it and doing... And then there's another scene kind of like that as well, and we'll get to that scene, but it feels like, yeah, speed it up.
Fluff. That happened in The Mandalorian a lot, too. Where, like, oh, they're on the train. They have to get away from the tickets. Oh, they don't have tickets. And it's just like, that didn't need to be it's unnecessary.
Right.
So there's some droid assassin guys are going to come and get her. She beats the crap out of them. Kind of cool way. Like, she goes underground and pops back
out.
Up.
Yeah,
it's
so they fall. It's pretty cool.
Then they initiate a self-destruct by announcing it.
I know.
Just do it.
They should have, like, jumped on her.
Yeah. And like, hold on. They're going to die now.
Yeah.
So it takes a while for it to go off. And it's a straight up like nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it's big.
It is humongous. The aftershock, the shockwave is like miles wide.
Right, like Ahsoka wouldn't have survived that. That's what it almost feels like.
The bombing of Mandalore was less impactful than these droids' bombs.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's a little wacky, but she gets on the ship and everything, and we found the map, and it's gonna take him to where Thrawn is. And I'm thinking, why would there be a map to Thrawn? Why would there be?
I have some theories, but I don't know if they really make any sense. But
so we get we basically get a Rebels reunion. We get to see hey Rebel people, and it's just super weird because the conversation's about things that never happened.
Right, because there's like conversations of like, well, you left like Sabine and like you didn't finish her training.
You left Anakin and then I left Sabine the same way. I'm like, you were training Sabine? Did that happen after the credits closed? Like, it's weird. There's Filoni went back and retconned his own work. There must have been time between when she goes, oh, it's time to find Ezra. There must have been something happening in between those two times.
Right.
Which is could.
Right,
but
could.
why?
But then also, you had an opportunity to do something like that where you could have had Sabine train with Ahsoka Tano instead of Kanan. Yeah. And when she was learning with the Darksaber. That would have been a good time to be like, oh, okay, cool. Technically, you could have been like a Padawan in honor, like an honor thing.
I want anyone to go through Rebels and find me one moment where Sabine showed any type of force sensitivity whatsoever in any way whatsoever. Mm. Except for saber combat. Finn did that in Force Awakens and he wasn't a Jedi.
Right.
So what the F?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they wanted to make it seem like they were like so hardcore in the past. Like, oh yeah, I've been training you for years.
So we get back to the planet and they're having a big celebration for like Ezra and the team. And I do like the portrait because it looks just like it did in Rebels.
Very
100%. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yes.
But I guess she's supposed to be there.
Yeah, and I think it's because she feels bad because they keep saying that Ezra's dead.
Yeah.
And that's not something she wants to...
So she just like gets out of there and she's supposed to give a talk, but she's not there.
She's not there.
They chase her down, but she's too damn cool for that, so she like gets away from them. Again, this is another like 15-minute scene.
Yeah.
But she like, slides under and does all this kind of cool stuff. Okay, it's fine. But the guy's like, mad respect, and like lets her go.
Yeah. Other than start shooting her.
That's every time it says ship shut up. So she goes back home, feeds her kitty, and she's like looking at Ezra's old stuff.
Yeah.
Like looks at his old message. You're my sister. Oh. Go to hell.
Okay, listen.
Go to hell.
Listen.
You're my sister.
Okay, at the beginning of Rebels, we all know that.
Maybe she likes that freaky stuff.
Well, she was smiling when he said it, which was like, a little.
She was like biting her lip.
A little weird.
She was licking her lips. It was weird.
It was weird. It was very much like when Leia is smiling too much at Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Like, stop smiling so much.
Like, this is super weird. But he's like, well, I never told you this, but you're like a sister to me.
Right, and granted, I know that maybe he did that as a way to like bow out because I feel like he's always kind of really liked Sabine.
Why wouldn't he?
Right, and I feel like maybe he felt like, oh, I'm supposed to be like a Jedi, and maybe this would be like a nice way for me just to be like, okay.
Yeah, like let it go. I said that because so you could forget me or something.
Right, and also you never know too. Maybe he knew that he was gonna be gone for a while. Maybe he thought it would be unfair to be like
her to make her wait for him.
Yeah,
we're making this happen.
The justifications that we make.
Boy, we're making this happen.
The rose-colored glasses. Yeah.
And then I'm looking to the future. But I think that's like everyone, like, I understand Dave Filoni was like, is so against this.
Yeah.
But why?
Like you said, there's been people that have said that he said things like, I want to make a relationship where it's not physical.
Which
but
is
it can
true.
be a man and a woman can be like super ultra best friends and not be
besties for life. They clap hands.
Right. And so I don't know. But again, though, it's his story, and again, he's writing it, so I would, he knows what he's doing.
But she's like living in the tower where he was, has all his old stuff.
Where's his clothes?
Where's his clothes and everything? Oh, but he's just like a guy that was like my brother.
You know what would be really funny is a skit if like she was dating someone and then like all the stuff with Ezra and stuff, and she's like, oh no, he's just my best friend, my best pal.
And, he's like,
and the guy would be
hell?
like, yeah, no, I don't think so.
So we get back to the other two, I don't want to call them Dark Jedis, but like the not good Jedis.
Yeah.
And they're at that temple place, it's all blown the hell up because they're like one step behind. They know who Ahsoka Tano is, and I'm thinking, how do they even know that?
Because I think that lady is the lady that she was talking.
She's a witch.
She's a witch, but she was the one that was on the episode of Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, remember she's like, oh, you had to tell me where Thrawn is.
Yes, but the problem is though, I'm like, but if she was a witch of Dathomir, didn't she try to do some of her like?
No, I'm a survivor, so maybe she wasn't.
Maybe she was like an initiate, like didn't get like a full.
Like maybe she was like she was just looking through the window and like never really learned anything. She's just kind of there.
The background, like they CGI her in like Clone Wars to be like, ooh.
Yeah, she's there. She's like poking out of a bush. So we basically get the scene from the last episode of Rebels.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost exactly scene for scene, except for they changed a little bit of it. They go meet Ahsoka, and then they kind of meet, and everything's like weird. I'm like, why is there all this weird tension? Like, it makes no sense. Then it's like they have the conversation about, oh, I found this map. It might take us to Ezra, and we can find Thrawn. You're the best star map lady, whatever I know, so I need you to look at this. And then she's like, they're being weird with each other. I'm like, where was this tension in Rebels? Like, ever?
Yeah, because she's like, oh, I like to be like where I'm needed. And she's like, oh, that seems like a lie or something like that. Because like, well, I needed you when you were training me, but I'm like, where's all this like coming from?
Like it was like a 2-day thing.
I know, right? Like an hour training session.
And she's like, I forget this, but then like there's like all that resentment. It's super weird.
It is very weird.
And we're gonna get flashback episodes. We have to.
Yeah.
What the F is going on? But then she's like, oh, can I take the map? It's like, no, you can't take the map with you. But she's like, oh, I think, I need to be someplace where I can clear my head and I can look at this more clear. She's like, no, you can look at it all you want, but you have to stay here with it. She's like, oh, yeah, sure thing. And then, of course, she gets a little communication where she has to go in the other room. And they're looking, because they were studying the other Jedis, and they're like, oh, those lightsaber builds look like Jedi Temple lightsaber builds. Like the way you would teach a youngling how to make a lightsaber.
Right.
So because that other one, I can't tell, but this one, that is one from the temple.
Yes.
The way that it's built. Like I know for a fact that's what it is.
And then by doing the records, he's like, yep, I found him. It's Balin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he disappeared after everything went down.
Yeah.
So he must have been like a survivor. Maybe that's the thing. I do what I do to survive. But you never were in tune with the Force and it didn't tell you to do bad things. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But again...
But everyone can be corrupted, though.
Right. And also, and I feel like he's more on the, I guess, Jedi.
Balin, son of Fundin?
But also, he's dark, though. Like he said, he was choking. He was Force choking someone and flung him, so...
Yeah, I thought he was going to make that dude shoot himself.
I thought so, too.
But he totally did. I'm like, that'd have been awesome.
That would have been, like, so dark by now.
Quit shooting yourself, and he's making him do it. He's, like, playing with him. Quit hitting yourself, making him slap himself. But, after all that information, Ahsoka comes out, so Sabine, and guess what?
She's
she
gone.
left. And then Ahsoka's, like, frustrated with teaching her and, like, being around her, and then, why can't it be easy? You weren't easy to your master.
I know.
It's so stupid.
I know.
Come on, Snips. You're pissing me off here. How can you be so stupid and dense? They make Ahsoka kind of stupid in this.
A little silly. And a little bit almost in a weird way too, following the same mistakes as like Anakin, where like they were talking about Thrawn and they're like, I know you want to find Ezra, but we can't let Thrawn come back. But I'm like, can't you see that she has a connection with Ezra? Granted, if you want to say it's love or just best friends, whatever, she wants to find him.
Just leave it at that.
Right, and by you like doing this, you're doing exactly what the Jedi Council did to Anakin.
She should have said this, hey, we're going to find Ezra, and if we so happen to find Thrawn, that's nice, but the main goal is to get Ezra back.
Right, exactly. And I feel like she's, again, being dumb, falling to that same trope of like, we got to do what's, like...
But the whole thing of her getting away from the Jedi Orders, remember they freaking passed all that crap on her?
Yeah, I know.
But she's doing the same thing all over again.
But the same thing that Luke did. And, like, when he's like, Grogu, you must choose. And it's like, guys, I guess apparently no one learns their lessons in Star Wars.
No. So, they had that whole conversation about, like, her not, why is it so tough to train someone? You weren't so easy to train. And she's thinking back, oh, yeah, I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But, Sabine's going looking at the thing, and then of course there's another like 400-minute scene.
Yeah, of her looking.
Like, and remember that scene in Iron Man where his father, the shape of like the Stark Expo was like the blueprint for the arc reactor.
Yeah, for the element.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same effing scene
with like less dialogue because she doesn't even talk. She's like,
and she walks around, looks around,
picks up
some
stuff,
moves some things around, turns on a projector, removes some of the items just like how Tony Stark did.
Right.
And this scene goes on too damn long.
Right. It's almost like a joke where like, yeah, this should have been edited.
Except for when Tony was doing it, he was talking.
Yeah, and he was like moving things around. Granted, I'm not saying like she needed to be like frantic and be like, oh, I'm, right, exactly.
Screaming at the cat, slamming the thing against the wall. But she figures it out and opens it up. But then she gets attacked by the same droids that attacked Ahsoka. And also the two evil Jedi people, Balin and his little chick, they knew that Sabine was trained a little bit by Ahsoka. How did they know that?
I don't know, because they've never met these two. But yeah, he knew?
See, this is where we were talking about this. I wish there would have been a scene where he's like communing with the Force and he had like a vision.
Yeah, and he's like,
it looks like Ahsoka picked up an apprentice, and he sees like her face. Then he's like, oh, that's her.
Yes.
Like, but it makes it sound like he just tuned in and went on Wikipedia and found the information.
Yeah, he just knew. You're just like, oh yeah.
It reminds me of a lot of Poe saying that, man, I guess Palpatine's back somehow. The dumbest line of dialogue in the history of the world. Why would he know who Palpatine is? Just like how in the hell would he know anything about Sabine?
He has the Empire newsletter.
Yeah.
he's still
right there on the front page. I can't believe it. Palpatine's back.
He's back. What the heck?
What the hell? So, she gets attacked. She's punching droids with her fists.
I know. I saw that. I was like, why are you doing that?
She's like bloody knuckles. Ah! Yeah, punching a droid. So she whips out Ezra's old lightsaber, which is tight. I love it. It's green. I love the green lightsaber. She goes up against the Balin isn't there. The Padawan's there. Yeah. Then they have a little lightsaber battle. Not bad.
Not bad. And also people gave guff, and they were like, oh, it wasn't a gun. I'm like, guys, it's a Padawan and someone that's not sword sensitive.
And better than any fight than the sequel trilogy.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Or anything better than Rey ever did.
Mm-hmm.
They let her think, oh, I need help, Ahsoka. And apparently she's like 5,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So Ahsoka's like rushing over there. They're fighting, and she gets Qui-Gon. And yeah, like right through the... It's funny, in one scene it looks like he went off to the side, and the other one looks like it was right in the middle of her chest.
Yeah.
Either way, there's parts in there. There's no part of your body where it's like, oh man, what a clean shot. Right below your lungs, but then you're like your liver and kidneys, and like, so there's a...
It would have to be such a lucky, like, piercing of like, I missed all your organs, and it went perfectly through you. And
But someone shows... But look, there's the scene in... where they're cutting the metal door, and the heat coming off the lightsaber is like an extra like foot and a half. So all that radiated heat inside your body wouldn't have done any damage.
Yeah, I would have killed you.
And explain this to me. Why not stab someone with your lightsaber and do the little swizzle whizzle and just go like this a little bit?
Or cut like this way instead of like, I'm going to pull this perfectly out.
Yeah, why not give it a little razzle dazzle while you're in there and just kind of mix up her guts? So then she's like, oh, I'm on the ground and I'm dying, and end of the episode. Wouldn't it be awesome if she died?
Oh my gosh, that would be one way to set up a series.
Here's the thing. I do want one flashback episode. Don't do the Book of Boba Fett thing where it's in every effing episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna
we get it. He fell in love with the Sand People. We get it. And it just goes on and on and on. So just give me one thing in the past where she was training her, got frustrated, and ran away.
Right.
I get that. Just do the one. But obviously Sabine isn't dead. Wouldn't it be amazing if she did die?
That would be so weird.
And Ahsoka's like, she just folds her arm and gives her that smug ass look as the last thing she sees before she dies.
Told you not to take the map.
Told you to leave it at my place. That's what you get for stealing my stuff. So if Sabine was a Jedi, how come she wasn't in the voices at the end of Rise of Skywalker?
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, wouldn't her voice been a part of the Meltabor voice?
Well, see, that's what makes me mad, because some people have these theories, but I'm like, okay, guys, when she was hearing the echoes from Ezra from her sleep, that could just be in a nightmare. Yeah. It not necessarily doesn't mean it's the Force.
Yeah.
And granted, people have had those moments, but again, small amounts of Force, like, you don't need, like, I don't know. There's that, and then second, she can wield a lightsaber without the Force. It is possible.
Finn did it.
It's possible.
He fought Kylo Ren.
Right. So I'm still in the camp of like no Force powers. For some reason, Ahsoka wanted to train a non-Force sensitive person.
Remember that dude in Rogue One? He was just like an acolyte, like a Force sensitive guy.
Right.
I don't want to see Sabine doing Force pushes, and like I don't want to see that.
You know what would be weird?
Because she's already a Mandalorian. She's already cool.
Right.
You don't need to make her a Jedi.
Because now, since you said that, one thing I do see maybe in the future, if like depending on how everything shakes out, would it be weird if Ahsoka made like some weird type of like Jedi group again, where she's doing it, has Ezra be part of it as well, and then have like Sabine being like lightsaber trainer?
Yeah, just like sword combat.
Sword combat, where again like an acolyte, not necessarily like a like, oh yeah, you're not.
But you don't have any Force powers. I don't need Force powers to beat you with the saber. You know, like that.
Yeah.
They can make her cool without having to be a Jedi.
Right.
She's already cool.
And then also, if you do it that way, then you can kind of say Ahsoka being like, oh, no relations, guys. Okay. And then they can just...
And then she, like, peeks around the door. Hey,
what's that? She's like the little warden.
Chances are that Sabine gets with this blonde girl.
I hope it's a 0.
But in my heart, I think it's like a 50% chance.
I would, Dave.
Enemies to lovers.
Dave, I would hate it because one thing I'll give about this new Padawan.
When you stabbed me, you like hit my heart.
What I like about her is that she has a little bit of that crazy eye of like, you might be a Dark Jedi, but I can see you going Sith.
Yeah, like full blown, like killing Balin, like
yes,
like 100%.
Yes.
She reminds me of the blonde chick from the Halo series.
Yes, kind of like
almost
that.
Like, kind of like this little twig of a girl.
Right, and I can see that because she has like, again, I don't know what it is. It's something about her eyes that she has that wily look of like.
Well, maybe because she saw like the slaughter of all the Padawans, and then Balin saved her.
Maybe,
and then like, maybe that made her go crazy. You know, I can understand that PTSD of that.
Right, or he found her and she's like in some slum somewhere, like living like, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I can show you what power is and all this." And
control your destiny.
Control,
you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, but for first episode, not bad.
Not bad.
But the whole like, oh god, Sabine might die. No, she doesn't.
No,
you guys are a complete absolute moron if you actually think she's gonna die.
That would be the craziest thing in Star Wars, like recently, anyways. Would be, oh yeah, then one of the main characters died.
But the thing is, this needs to F her up.
Yeah.
This needs to put her like in crutches for a while. I just don't want her to bounce right back, or just one episode where she goes, "Ooh, it kind of hurts," and then like,
like literally next scene she's like walking around being like,
and then Ahsoka just puts a little Jedi Temple Band-Aid on it, and it's just like everything's all better, and kisses her boo boo, and it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's a little bit of, at least like give me one scene in the hospital.
Yeah,
right? One scene that she's like, oh shit.
Just like Jedi Medicare sucks, my friend.
Yeah, that Force stuff Grogu does we don't have.
Yeah, we don't got none of that action. But so she didn't. She refused to train Grogu, but trained Sabine.
Huh? The only thing I can think of with that is because she has no Force powers, so she doesn't have to worry about her going dark side.
Maybe that'd be kind of fun.
That would be kind of interesting of like her way of doing it. Also, the map thing we were talking earlier, this was kind of when we were watching the show. I don't think it's a map specifically to Thrawn. Maybe they were tracking the space whales for some reason.
And that's like that's the only other thing that makes any damn sense, because then they foresaw all this.
Yeah.
But no one ever knew about this prophecy. There's a lot of prophecy stuff in Star Wars.
Right.
Especially in Rebels. They get really into like the father and the son and all that kind of stuff, the daughter. But at what point does it get to the point to where it's like, I just can put my hands on my hip like, Filoni, come over here. Let me grab you by the ear. Okay, you got to stop with all this mystical.
Right, some of it has to be solid.
To solve every problem.
Right.
It's a mystical thing.
Right, and there has to be some solidness to it. Like, it can't all be in the air of like,
the ether of like the ideas and thoughts and the dreamscape and multiple
worlds between worlds and yeah.
But well, I guarantee you the next couple episodes are probably flashback episodes. I just want one. Just one.
Just give us the one that explains like how they were training her and stuff, and how they had a relationship build of Padawan and Master. Yeah. Because that just is lost on me.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
But overall, if I had to give it a number, a 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 7.
A 7.
A 7. Not bad.
I guess there is episode 2 is out, but we're not gonna watch that one yet, and they're gonna do every Tuesday.
Yeah.
I have weekends off now with my new job, so we'll probably do our reviews on Fridays.
Right.
Just because it'd be easier.
Right, and then maybe if we, things can roll up, maybe we can catch up with everyone, but if not, we'll just be an episode behind.
Yeah. And, next week there's a holiday. I have that off. Labor Day.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can do Monday.
Maybe
catch up.
Right.
Completely catch up. But, thanks for watching, guys. Again, I know it's been a long time since we've done full reviews, and 15 PCA is still recovering from his surgery. Mm-hmm. He's doing a lot better, but there's no way he could do a podcast.
Right, not right now.
Like, we can watch the episode together, but he would have to take lots of breaks.
Right.
And rest, and it's just easier for him just to not have to add another stress of like trying to come up with ideas and stuff like that. So,
right.
But he's still getting better, and hopefully he comes back to the podcast soon.
Yes, very much so.
But Star Wars has been on the down, and this is just okay.
It's okay.
It's a base hit.
I almost feel like if they can just do it by the numbers and maybe not do anything really silly, like you said, like the Padawan and her being together would just
I don't want that.
That would just be silly.
She has a name, but I don't remember what it was. I remember Balin because Balin's cool.
Balin's
He's so cool.
But yeah, no dumb ideas like that. Don't make Sabine Force sensitive too.
They're going to.
Just like those little things, like those will make it go.
She's gonna reach for her lightsaber, and it's gonna jiggle a little bit, and it's gonna go to her hand. We all know it.
Okay. Do you as just to make people upset? Do you do that? But it's Ezra.
And he pushed it to her?
Yeah.
And she thought she was doing it? That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Ezra, you bastard, you made me think I had powers.
She put her hands on her hips.
And he's like, oh, that was me. We gotta go silly with some of these things, right? It's like a full-blown comedic episode. But, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Because, and the funny thing is about the map, it's literally a straight line. Like, what the...
It just goes straight.
Yeah, it's just literally a straight line. Like, it didn't, like, connect to different star clusters or something. No, it literally is a straight line.
I know.
I never thought of that.
That is kind of true.
Super silly. But they have the map now, but they already saw it, and I'm pretty sure Sabine probably... They did smash up all their stuff, which I thought was kind of mean.
Yeah, they were like...
Not only we stole your stuff, I want to bust your crap up. Like, if someone stole something from me, then busted up my monitor and everything, like, well, what a jerk. Like,
yeah, you didn't have to do that.
That's not mine.
I don't own that.
I was renting that. But, yeah, definitely going to check out the next episodes. It didn't, like, completely turn me off.
No.
But it didn't make me fall in love with the series either.
Right, and I feel like it's just those little things. Like you said, it's weird. Like, this could have been easily an 8 or a 9, but if they just didn't have a lot of the weird stuff.
Yeah, there's, like, weird tension that was never presented before.
Right. I almost feel like if there was a clean slate, this would have been, like, an 8. If they would have been like, hey, like, I know we didn't talk very much, but we could find Ezra, that would have been great. Not this whole... We're going to be smug to each other.
Yeah, there is an arm folding epidemic going on in this first episode.
Yes,
Everyone's be folding their arms.
Everyone's closed off. If you wanted an episode of, man, no one likes no one, and everyone's going to be, I'm going to keep my feelings.
We're the good guys, but we're also like almost treating each other like we're like used to be bad guys.
Yeah, we're all pouting over each other like, I don't like you on my team.
It's almost like, I feel like it's almost like that she blames Ahsoka for Ezra going away.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, like in a weird way. Like, but why would that be? Well, because he trained to be a Jedi and that he made that self-sacrifice, and you all know that's bullcrap. But here's the thing: Ezra became like a real Jedi at the end of the series.
Right.
More of a Jedi than Ahsoka ever was.
Right. Or even or dare I say even more than Kanan.
Yeah. He became like a real true Jedi.
Right.
And he did the right thing and he didn't run away and he didn't, I got scared.
He did, it's funny, it's really subtle, but you see a lot of growth of him in the last few episodes.
When he slicked his hair back, he became like a man. Like,
yes.
And he made decisions and he stood by them and he like let the Force truly guide him.
Right. And so like you said, so it would be interesting. I hope that's the one thing maybe I'm really worried about. Don't mess up Ezra.
Yeah, don't make him a stupid, dummy idiot just to make Sabine a better Jedi than him.
Yes.
Whoa, it took me 6 months to learn that technique and you learned it in 2 minutes. I don't want anything like that.
Right, I don't want it either. Ugh.
Well, this technique, I never got my head around it, but you just solved it in a second, Sabine. Wow, you're a better Jedi than I could ever have hoped to be.
Right.
I can imagine, I can see those lines coming out of his freaking filthy mouth. I can see it. And Kanan's ghost comes back to talk to Sabine, but not Ezra. I can see stuff like that happening. You know?
Right.
It's driving me freaking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, hopefully none of that happens. But, yeah, definitely we'll keep these episodes going, and I'll try to get them edited and up by Saturday, maybe Sunday.
Right.
Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.